Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for all your support, guys. Still on the season review, but today we'll be talking about all the controversies from referees and some of the games last season. Not with me all alone in the studio. I am with the Big Joe. Joe is in the house today, and we will be discussing extensively with Big Joe today. But first, let's talk about Antonio Lojas, the Spanish international referee in the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 last edition. You know what happened, guys, where Lojas was sent from the World Cup. 18 yellow card between the games of Argentina and Netherlands. A Big Joe, what do you have to say about that?
Mr. Loas. The guy was just what I feel is he was just not being at least lenient a little bit.
Okay.
Any small thing, just card, no now. And a lot of people complain, even Lionel Messi complained about
The
the
referee,
referee,
the officiating,
the officiating. Not as if most of the cards were
we
I
actually
say,
not deserve.
but
Okay.
at least
He
as a
was
ref,
too
just
harsh.
not like everything, just give card, this
Uh,
and give card, this and give
Gift
card.
card, it was just sharing the card
Not
as if it
Tinubu.
was a
No,
party.
no.
It was actually party of card in that particular game, and so surprising.
And he did the
But
same thing. The ref, there was a match that he
he did
refereed
the same thing.
in La Liga.
Yes, yes, against Barcelona and
I gave like
Espanyol.
15.
Also, well, he did the same thing also against Espanyol and FC Barcelona. Yeah, he issued, I think, 18 yellow card. Also, yes,
Imagine,
18 yellow card in that game. So it was
no joy.
it was really quite something about that referee. And the surprising thing was he was sent from the World Cup. He was sent home from the World Cup even before the World Cup finished. Do you really think FIFA we are not too harsh on that by sending him away from the World Cup? Is it not too harsh sending him from the World Cup?
I think that was actually a harsh decision
Okay,
from FIFA. At least they should have allowed him to finish the
the World
remaining. I
Cup.
think it
Okay,
was remaining 4 games.
yes, because that was actually a quarterfinal game.
It was remaining 4 games. They should have just allowed him to at least finish the
The
remaining games and
tournament,
stuff. Yeah,
yes,
stuff like that.
maybe before they may
That
do
kind of
something
thing.
about it, sanction him, or maybe not to even give him any slot again to officiate the next World Cup, maybe until well being scrutinized and other things like that. Well, they feel because he has done it before. We just talk about what he did in the Spanish La Liga against Espanyol, Barcelona, and FC Barcelona. And these two teams are in one state. They are rivalry team, which is
Ever,
it
yeah.
was actually a tough game. But I think maybe he's supposed to be considered because these are tough games we're talking about. Espanyol and FC Barcelona, they are rivals. It's a tough game.
And probably the game was very physical
Yes, and very intense.
and
You
very
see,
intense.
the same thing with that Netherlands, Argentina. It was very intense. These are two teams that if you want to talk about a Netherlands, we are one team that we are in the World Cup final in 2010, which is they are big nations that has better team. Argentina 2014. So meeting in this Qatar, I think the game is quite the intensity is very
Very
high.
high,
So
very high, very
if
high.
this happened, I really think that send him away. I don't really know, but I think they know the best.
But why I see the same quarter final is not just a game where you issue card anyhow. The ref should have at least a little bit lean. If you want to just give card based on what every player is doing, and you eventually, before you know, you've given more
So
than
many
20.
cards
At
for
least there are some games
everybody.
just to use your.
Believe
That's why you're a professional. You are a referee. You should know how to handle a game.
to
You should be able to
handle some
control the
situations.
yes, control.
Okay.
According to Nigeria, say control the crowd.
Okay.
Control the
You should be
crowd.
able to control the
Yes,
car,
that kind of
control the
thing
city, control the tempo of the
of the
game.
game. Yeah.
That's what is being expected from him. But well, that's quite one that happens at the World Cup. But yet, let's still talk about what happened in the UEFA Europa League final last season. The game between Sevilla and AS Roma. You saw what happened in that game. Actually, so many talk from the people and so many harassment about that game to the referee, which is Anthony Taylor. You see what happened in that game. Quite an amble against Sevilla in that game that would have put Roma ahead and would have give Jose Mourinho maybe the edge to win the title. But the penalty was not given, and it was quite a big controversial discussion all over the game, all over the world, all over Europe. What do you think about it? What really happened? Do you think it's an handball or it's a ball to hand? Because that was what Anthony Taylor is claiming that the ball was ball to hand. Do you think that ball is ball to hand?
That was clearly an amble.
Okay.
That was clearly. You see, first of all, these things happened in football. These things happened, but there are some scenarios whereby some things are just clear. And when this call are not being given, where a penalty should be given, and sometimes you keep asking yourself, what is the reason behind why is this not given? Like I don't see any clear explanation behind this. You don't just that was if you watch that game properly, that was clearly
A handball.
handball, clear one. There's no argument talking to. That was
Even too much.
but you see, Anthony Taylor, I'm sure Chelsea fans they will know. Chelsea fans will know,
Okay.
they will know because he has shown them.
Yeah, sure. So which means Chelsea fans have their own share of
They
Anthony
already know. So
Okay.
I probably if you were the match was supposed it was Chelsea playing that game,
Yeah.
maybe they will not even think that it's just normal thing for
It's a
them.
normal thing, and you see, this takes me back to people saying that English referees are not better at their job, that they don't know what they are doing when it comes to games like that. They always messed up and they don't do very well in big games. Do you agree with that?
I don't really agree with that. The thing is, most people watch English
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 football.
league.
Okay.
So you always watch the game. You always we always watch the referees. We always conversant with their decisions.
Okay.
We don't really care. Few
About
times,
other leagues.
few times people watch maybe La
La
Liga,
Liga,
maybe
French
a
League One.
Clasico. Nobody even care about that one.
Okay, nobody care about
even
French
goes
League
all
One.
these
Okay,
Bundesliga.
okay.
Maybe a Clasico. That's the only time you watch La Liga. You don't
La
really
Liga.
watch La Liga.
Like that.
This guy that was sent to
Lojas. Okay, Antonio Lojas in the World
that
Cup.
was a
He's
La Liga
Spanish
referee.
Yes,
That was
yes.
a Spanish referee.
Referee.
So people just say English referee are not good. How many La Liga games are they
Have you
watching?
really watched?
That's why it is. That's why you can easily look at most players that we criticize, even in Premier League. We say this guy is not good because we are watching. Do you know how many players that they are playing on that list that are not even up to? They are not even good as well. But you don't really care about them, just like the La Liga referees and other.
Yes,
we
that
don't.
we
We don't really care
about
more. So we've not really taken the time to actually watch them to observe how they
play.
officiate their games.
Share games.
So we don't know more. We just
Okay.
say English referees are bad. They are
Referee
bad.
are bad. Which means it's really one side about this. Well, it's quite a really a difficult one for Anthony Taylor enter that game because Jose Mourinho confronted him at the car park. Even in airport, there were some fans. They were trying to fight him when they were about to catch flight with his team and family. So it was quite a big embarrassment. They quite harassed.
And we know how
Anthony Taylor
Jose
and for that,
Mourinho
Jose Mourinho was even banned from for UEFA champion for your UEFA game, which means this season that will be coming. And Jose will not be in attendance for 4 games for FC for Roma in any of the European games, 4 matches. What do you really think? Do you think they will have impact on Roma, considering that the fact Mourinho has been banned by UEFA, or do you think they may still play their game in the absence of Mourinho? And did Mourinho deserve to be banned? Because considering the fact that you just said it's an handball, and everybody will be furious, every manager, and at the end of the day, he went ahead to lose the game in penalty shootout. So confronting Anthony Taylor and giving match ban, did Mourinho deserve the ban, or do you think Mourinho wouldn't have gone that far confronting Anthony Taylor?
the as regard the fact that Mourinho has been banned, whether the players, the team will still function, we know that we cannot deny it. Managerial role is very important when it comes to team. So it will affect them no matter how, no matter how little it will, at least it will affect the team.
Okay.
For the fact that the coach is not there to communicate directly on the field of play. Sometimes you might tell people this is what I want you to play on the when you are doing team talk. But once the game is going on, the manager will be able to screen the game properly and know, okay, let me make this change. Once you are there, you can flow with the energy of the game. Then you can make decisions as things are going. That one is for one side. As regard if that obviously, sure, Mourinho deserves to be
banned.
Yes, because see, that's why we call it sport, because there are rules guiding these things, and we have these bodies that are regulating the sport.
Each of the games,
you cannot just they are officials. You are not the referee. Fine, the referee made a wrong decision.
Mistakes, yes.
That does not mean you have the right. You leave that one for you can file your complaint to
the body.
Then you leave you can, if you are doing that, if every manager decides to be doing like that, and if you look at it, especially every weekend where we watch match, you see most weekends there are issues.
Yes,
managers, there are always issues. Jogging club will be angry, complain.
Representing
Guardiola will complain.
okay.
So all of them, they don't go and start insulting
The
referee. No,
referees and
that's
that. Well,
that's
that's actually what really happened. It's really quite a difficult one for Jose Mourinho. He was unable to control his emotions, his feelings about that game. He has to confront Anthony Taylor, and for that fourth match ban was placed on him. Well, it's really quite difficult. So, guys, I want your opinion on this. What do you think? Did Jose Mourinho deserve that, or did he not? We'll be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll be moving right to the game of Manchester United versus Manchester City. That controversial goal by Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford involved in it. Guys, when we come back, we'll be diving into that game. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.